streets of San Francisco, a Quinn Martin production.
All right, so this is the beginning of World War III, and oh no, yes, and thank God for punk rock, because I'm ready. I already knew this. So here's a Clash talking about it. And they were telling us this in like 1982. Somebody had to do it.
It worked incredibly well, 95%, maybe even more than that. It worked incredibly well. It was recommended to a lot of people.
So, I'm not celebrating this music. I'm just showing you that the music is written outside of time, and everything was told to us back in the late 70s, early 80s. If we were paying attention to all the true believers, the true punk rockers, we got the memo. We were told. We already know. And you can go back to these videos and you can see the all the people that were listening to this music back then that paid attention to it and took it serious. There's like, we told you. We knew. We already knew this. So it's like, I think I told you, the punk movement was a truther movement, and it's about the end of the world. It's about Armageddon, and that's where we're at now. So we got the memo. We got the cheat sheet. We already know, but it's true. It's really true. So a lot of people laugh and discount, but I see things outside of time through these lyrics. So anyway, I'm tired of trying to explain this to people. People don't get it. Okay, just like I told you 5-6 months ago, end of February, it's World War III. And some people think this is just gonna fade away, this Iran thing, but it's not. This is the beginning of Armageddon. It's gonna morph into Armageddon. A lot of people discount, this music, and discount what I'm saying, but I'm telling you, this is written outside of time. It's right. So far, all of these old, the real punk music, all the lyrics are coming true. Starting in 2020, it's all coming true. Because they were written outside of time. Because they were written outside of time. Because they were written outside of time. It's a Canadian band. They're really good. Early band. I saw them quite a few times. Met them. And they're really cool. They're real. Okay. So you guys get ready. Because this is Armageddon time. Okay, be good.
Welcome to 1984. Are you ready for the Third World War? Are you ready for the Third World War?
A lot of people say this is the best taqueria in the world. So it's pretty good. I don't know if it's the best. I think it's probably is.
Where's that?
Right. So here I'm at the taqueria. This is the Good Witch of the South's taqueria. La Taqueria. And you got your lowriders. This is the real mission. Okay, so this taqueria is all white, and the woman that owns it is, she's in the Bible, she would be considered Hello Kitty, or the Hindu goddess Lakshmi, or the Bride of Christ in the Bible, and or Ellen White. There's a lot of versions. Kimba the White Lion. There's a lot. And so what I'm trying to explain to you is this Bible is this is the story of everything. Every song, movie, cartoon, book, it's all comes down to the Bible or something, some part of the Bible. That's what it's really about. All your pop culture, even, your bands, everything is biblical. And all the songs are about the future and what's going to happen, and all the art is about the past, what did happen. And it's been that way for forever, for ages. And so this white witch, literally, people think, this is why people get confused and think that we're in a simulation. Because all this stuff is it's on the right, it's located in certain streets, certain days. You go there. We're fully controlled, is what people don't understand. We're controlled by God, and we're controlled by and the demon people are controlled by the beast system. and the beast system tries to control us. So, or Satan, if you want to say, and his beast system or whatever. But bottom line, this is a good example. So, here, whenever you go to this taqueria, a lot of times you see the lowriders. They drive past this taqueria because the lowriders they're like she's the white witch in the Wizard of Oz. She's the good witch of the South, right? And what does she do? She lords over the munchkins. Well, the lowriders are the munchkins in the Mission District. So they're everywhere in every culture. I mean, in a big company, they have this culture. All religions, they have this culture. And even in lowrider culture, in Latino neighborhood in California, they have this culture. This is how the world really works, So, what's funny is you'll see these lowriders out in front of her taqueria all the time. And she's not affiliated with them, but she is. She doesn't know, And, the bus that runs on her line right there, you see it pass by her shop. He has a white cat on the mirror, on it. So this is the kind of stuff you see, and this is the kind of thing that makes people think, oh, it's a simulation. It's not. Yes, Satan runs a simulation and tries to lure you into it, and once you take the juice, you become part of the software, program. But if you're a natural-born human, you're not in a simulation. Only people who are in a simulation are the transhumans, like archaics. He believes it's a simulation because he is in a simulation, because he is basically a robot. But like me, I'm a natural-born human. I'm not in a simulation. Yeah, there's one running around me on Earth, but I'm not in it. If I start believing in Sabrina Wallace or archaics, then I can go into the Matrix. That's what they're talking about in the Matrix movie, when he goes in and out of that phone booth, in and out of the Matrix. And, sometimes he gets caught up in it. So that's why I keep telling you guys, you got to stay out of the truther narrative, because the truther narrative is run by Satan. So you're just in the Matrix, and you think that you're not in the Matrix because you're not in the mainstream lies. So you think you've beat the devil, but the devil just juked you. So I have a lot of truther friends that they've already lost their soul, or they're about to lose their soul because they're in the truther narrative and they're like juked. It's sovereign citizen, or it's the internet body of things, Sabrina Wallace and my lineage, and those people are going to lose their souls because they're just juked by the devil, believing the fake truthers, the Canaanite fake truthers. And so those people they're in the Matrix. They've entered the Matrix, and eventually they're going to get juked into taking the mark and getting the software into their soul. Their God's DNA that God gave them is going to get downloaded into the San Francisco Peninsula, into the beast software program through Genentech. You know what I mean? They're going to get the juice. So people just don't get it. They think they're all good to go because they're in the truth narrative, and they're not. They're losing their souls left and right. Truthers are losing their souls, and so I'm sorry, but no, it's not. It's not Hugo Talks. He's not a Christian. He's a Canaanite. He's a J, and he just fooled you for the devil and to take your soul. It's not Dr. Day or Amazing Polly. They're not Christians. It's not, Antichrist 45, telling you about Trump being the Antichrist, which he is, he is the mouth of it. These are high-level fake Christians, fake truthers, and people are getting juked by them. They're going to lose their soul. So I don't know, good luck is all I can tell you. So until you start realizing that like 99.9% of the truthers and biblical people on these glass screens are, being run by the devil, you're not making it. You're going to get sucked into taking the mark, taking the juice that writes you into the software program, into the beast software, and then you become 1/3 of the 1/3 fallen. So most of the truthers will lose their souls because they followed these fake truthers on YouTube and these fake Bible people on YouTube. And most of them are Canaanites, and they're transhumans. And then there are a few that are real humans, but they've been co-opted into, out of sin, they've been lured into deceiving their brethren. So, hate to break the news, but most of the truthers and Bible people they're not gonna make it. Or you're just not gonna make it. So anyway, let's get to this video. And he has to get jacked out, because he's still learning. So, this is more accurate. So anyway, this is a good example. I just wanted to show it, whatever. But you see, I see stuff like this all the time. All this is always happening all around us. The Bible is constantly happening all around us. This is the bride of Christ, Taqueria. No joke, I'm not wrong. People have just been brainwashed. They don't know what the Christians don't know what the Bible means. They think they do, but hate to break the news, but they really don't know that much. So let's get into this video. So the lowriders they're like the Munchkins in the Wizard of Oz. And just think about it, the lowriders. So they've been chopped down, they've been lowered, they've been shrunken down. They're munchkins, like dwarves. Because like I keep telling you, we get shrunken down. So these people will come back and be re-legioned through religion, through the white witch, and they'll be chopped down as munchkins. They'll be shrunken down. And the lowrider car is like their Merkaba, their body that they're in the spiritual journey in. Their vehicle, their car's been chopped, lowered, lowriders. So people don't know what lowriders are. Most lowriders don't even know who they are. But that's who they are. They're Lakshmis or the White Witch or the Bride of Christ, or Hello Kitty's subjects. She watches over them. They're protected by her. She protects me. That's why I go there, because if I get zapped and get hit by one of Satan's lasers, she'll fix me up, and so that's how it is. This is the real world. This is targeted individuals. It's not the Gwen Towers. It's a lot bigger than that. So I could tell you guys so much stuff. There's a whole web of places you could go, little phone booths you can duck into and get fixed up if you get shot by one of Satan's weapons. All over the city. I know where they all are. So anyway, gotta go. Let's just keep an open mind. I don't know. I don't know what to tell people anymore. It's like no one gets it, and they've got the Mossad has a hold of this channel so tight. It's like basically just making videos out into the air, and hardly anyone can hear them anymore. So I'm sure there's plenty of knee-jerk, brainwashed, fake truthers and fake biblical, people who think they're Christian but really aren't Christian. We're gonna bash me. Oh, that's so. This Taqueria is, white. Like these people, will come at me sometimes. Whatever, I don't care. But if you think I'm, it's not wrong what I'm telling you. And if you stop and think about it, it's probably happened. I don't know, the rest of the country or whatever. It's probably happening in your town too, you know? Like, in fact, people in California know In-N-Out Burger, okay? And that's another one of the White Witch's restaurants. Look at the woman who inherited it. That's the White Witch. And, you know, it's a Christian company, by the way. And there's a line out the door, and even the sign tells you they're going to be re-legioned. Look at the arrow pointing down and up. They go back and forth, re-legioned, as the script runs. These are God's chosen super stock. They're the reserve stock, right? The genetics. This is Adam and Eve's children, you know, that don't fall for the juice. These are the people that don't fall for it. You know, so this, and you know, you go to either one of these, this Taqueria or In-N-Out Burger, and there's always a line out the door. And, you know, it's just, you can just see, I can just see it. I don't know, people can't see a lot of these kind of things, but, and don't forget, I already showed, you know, in a lot of other videos that McDonald's is the Beast with the Head Wounds restaurant. It's Trump's restaurant. That's why Trump loves McDonald's. That's why the mascot is Ronald McDonald Trump, the red-haired clown. You know, people, I mean, it's just so obvious. You know, and Lucifer is his coffee shop is Starbucks. That's why the logo is the Statue of Liberty. Lucifer is the Statue of Liberty. The beast with the sword wound. His penis was cut off. You know, it's just so obvious. And Home Depot is the old Dragon's store. You know, that's Satan's store, Home Depot. You shouldn't go there. You shouldn't go to any of those restaurants. So wherever you go and patronize, you're contracting. You're contracting with the old dragon, or you're contracting with the bride of Christ. You make your choice. It's all being tallied up. It's all being recorded. Did you go to In-N-Out Burger or McDonald's? Did you vote for, you know, the beast with the head wound, Trump, or did you vote for Adam, Bernie Sanders? You know, it's all being added up. All right, so the band that sung that song, Lowrider, is the front man, singer, is the White Witch. And they're called War. And the reason they're called War is because they are, you know, in a war with Satan and his 1/3 fallen. And it's a big band. It's got a lot of members. And they're all, you know, saints, apostles, Adam and Eve, and their children. It's the 144, the chosen against Satan in a war. And if you don't believe me, sometime, I don't know when, it's 70s, I guess, they killed Jimi Hendrix because Jimi Hendrix is Satan. I told you guys that back a couple years ago. Jimi Hendrix is an avatar of Satan, just like Jay Leno is an avatar of Satan. Snoop Dogg is an avatar of Satan. That's why he's called the dog, because Anubis is Satan. The Egyptian god Anubis is Satan. And also, what's his name? Jay Leno. That's why he has Big Dog Garage. He's Satan. Barack Obama is an avatar of Satan. You know, so, you know, Jimi Hendrix is an avatar of Satan. So is Jim Morrison. And, you know, people don't realize this, but Satan made a big mistake, and he went on stage, a guest appearance with this band for 35 minutes he played. And the next day he died because they killed him. Because this is God's army. This is God's super soldiers. You don't want to mess around with the White Witch and her super soldiers. They will kill you if you're an avatar of Satan. And that's what happened to him. And, you know, people will laugh and go, oh, man, that San Francisco truth guy's crazy. But it's not wrong. In fact, that guy right there, that's Adam. The harmonica player is Adam. So that's you know, the White Witch's grandfather. So it's all the family. They are the royals. They're the real royals, not the royals in England. Those are fake avatar, like demon versions. The real royals are us, the chosen, God's super stock, the super soldiers. And that's why they made the coronavirus, because they're trying to kill Satan and his army, and the synagogue of Satan are trying to kill off us, the royals. So it's all right in your face. People just don't get it. But anyway, just interesting, That's how Jimi Hendrix, who is Satan, was killed. He was killed by the White Witch and God's, super soldiers. All right, gotta go. Be good. And if you don't believe me, this band has another song called Why Can't We Be Friends? And it's about why they can't be friends with Satan. And why, Satan is untrustworthy. And why they are at war, hence the band name War, why they're at war with Satan. And, it's the lyrics say, you work for the CIA because the mafia wouldn't take you. They're talking about Satan. So you can look into the song or whatever, but that is what it's about. All the songs, all the movies, all the cartoons, all the ancient stories, all the ancient texts are about the Bible. And they're all, reenacting the Bible all the time. So, sorry to break the news, but that's what's really happening. Got this band here, The Clash. I told you, they're the four horses. So, gotta go. Better be good. And you better keep an open mind, because it isn't going to turn out the way your stupid 501c3, non-profit church pastor told you, who works for the devil. And it isn't going to work out the way your fake truther Richie from Boston or what's her name, Amazing Polly or Dr. Day, these Canaanite transhuman liars that work for the devil, isn't going to turn out the way they told you. So you better open your mind and get the end time truth, because you're in the fourth horse now. You don't have time to mess around. Right, gotta go. Bye. It's not wrong. The world doesn't work the way the truthers think it works. And just like it doesn't work the way the sheeple think it works. You have to get a hold of the fact that you got banged if you were listening to the truther narrative, and you got banged if you were listening to the biblical scholars and, all the preachers. None of them told you how it really works. And the Bible even tells you that. You're not going to know unless you're chosen and you get selected at the end to be told what's really going on. So sorry to break the news, but no, it ain't the way that the truthers think. The truthers are morons, if you want to get blunt. Most of the truthers are not real humans. The big popular truthers are either co-opted humans or cyborgs, fake Jays who think they're Jays that are, and they're trying to hoax you, like Alex Jones or Russell Brand. Those are they're not real humans, most of them. So bottom line, don't try and mix in what I'm telling you with your truther knowledge, because you're just going to ruin it. You're not going to get to the real truth. You better get open-minded about your truther knowledge and be willing to, and your biblical knowledge, and be willing to discard what it is, because if you are holding on to it, you're not going to get the end-time truth. And I mean, sorry to break the news, but the Bible tells you in several places, it tells you that. But it's people's ego that prevent them from letting go of these lies the devil sold them. Remember, the devil is the master of deception. We all got tricked. No shame, in getting tricked. The shame is if you hold on to your pride and ego and sins and won't hear the end time truth. That's the shame. So please keep an open mind. I'm not messing around. I'm not playing around. This stuff was shown to me. I'm not researching it. I'm not combing through YouTube like a regular truther and figuring this out. I see it in visions. You know, so if you can't get that, you're in a world of hurt. Most truthers comb through truther information and study and research truther information and try and take their best guess, but it's a blindfolded swing at the pinata. They're not given visions, or some of them are truthers that got light visions, but then they lost their visions because they didn't act right, they didn't handle it right, and so you know they've been turned into shills. You know, if Satan can take a real truther, he will. He's trying to turn me into a shill. I ain't going for it. You know, he will turn you into a shill. So be careful if you're a real truther, because Satan's waiting. He's doing everything he can to co-opt you and turn you into a shill if you're not already. So this is how the truth narrative works. And the same thing with the Bible people, Bible scholars, Bible truthers, all that. Satan will co-opt you in a heartbeat if he can. So, you know, it's just not as easy to get through this test as people think. And as Satan presents it as easy, it ain't easy. All right? Let's get back to the video. Anyway, get to it.
I am the chosen one. I am the chosen one. Last call for freedom of speech. Drink up. Happy hour is now enforced by law. Don't forget our house special. It's called the Tricky Dicky Screwdriver. It's got 1 part Jack Daniels, 2 parts purple Kool-Aid, and a jigger of formaldehyde.
Somebody had attacking our civilization. Somebody had it.
Little more MSG. Turn on those Dallas Cowboys on your TV. Lock your doors. Lose your mind. It's time.
Alright, so I'm supposed to warn you guys. Alright, so I'm supposed to warn you guys.
Welcome to 1984. Are you ready for the Third World War? You too will meet the secret police. They'll draft you and they'll jail your name. You'll go quietly to boot camp. They'll shoot you dead, make you a man. Don't you worry, it's for a cause. Feeling all the preparations for die like a brand new poison gas. The Salvador, Afghanistan, making money for a criminal.
Major combat operations in Iraq. Our objective is to defend the American people by
This is what I said,
imminent threats from the
like probably 6 months ago.
vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas,
Let's turn this down.
and our allies.
Yeah, so about 6 months ago, 200 and something days ago, I saw like a vision that something would happen, serious kind of psyop would happen, and in 200 days, and I counted up, and it was the end of February that it would happen. So I've been warning people about it, and you know, people don't listen. They don't think that, you know, my visions are real. But I'm going to tell you right now, every single thing that was come from a vision on my channel, which is basically all my channel. I mean, I just, maybe especially last 3 years, 2-3 years, I just talk about my visions only. I don't add other truthers' ideas in, because I realize the other truthers are kind of lost, you know, and they're not, the truthers who are going off, you know, the truth narrative are lost. The ones who have visions aren't lost. And the ones who mix truth or narrative with their visions mess up. And that's what I realized. I was doing that, and I realized that about 3 years ago. But so here it is. I said in the end of February there would be a lockdown or a war, and I think and when this first happened, I was like, oh, whatever. I was like busy. I wasn't paying attention. But I think now that I'm just realizing, I'm like, yeah, it's exactly what I said. A war at the end of February, and it started. So I'm guessing now that this is it. This is going to be a big war. This is the end of the Prince of Peace, the Antichrist. It's the end of his period, his time of peace. It's ending. So now we're going into some heavy stuff. And this is the fourth horse. Like I told you, every single thing that I've said on this channel has turned out right so far. I predicted the White House press secretaries. I'm the one who told about the Dome of Rock to this guy. Actually, he's talking about it. But I've talked about the Dome of the Rock for a long time. Because I know. Okay, so when I say this guy, I'm talking about a call for an uprising. And, a call for uprising is Adam. Okay? So some people, oh, he's a shill or this, I might not like him or whatever. But if you watch the channel, it's Adam. He tells you what's going to happen and, he's basically telling you the future. Adam's the future. And like Meg Truth, people, oh, Meg is this, that, whatever. But the fact is, that's Eve, okay? So she'll tell you the past. So you can kind of listen to, like, those two channels and get all you need to know from Adam and Eve, basically, if you're a truther, And they're at each other's throats because the beast has figured out a way to program to, like, make Adam and Eve fight, and also Satan likes to make Adam and Eve, diss their children and abuse their children, and it makes their kids be little brats and attack their parents. So, we're divided by Satan's program. So don't get, I don't want anybody to get upset, any, avatars of Adam or Eve or, to get upset, and vice versa, So I listen to Call for Uprising. I think it's a good channel because I think he presents everything and a lot of stuff, that a lot of people miss. And same thing, I get a lot out of listening to Meg. I don't agree with everything, especially now, trying to say that the weather's fake and the wars are fake, and it's not. I just know it's not, But he gets a lot of stuff right, too. And both Adam and Eve have worked really hard to, save their seed from Satan's evil juice. And Mag did a lot of work. He probably saved more people from taking the juice than probably anybody I know of. He worked his ass off in the pandemic to fight against, to help people see the truth about that juice. So, you can diss these people if you want, but I'm not going to. I listen to them because I know who they are. I know they're Adam and Eve. They're my parents. I'm listening to them, So if you're one of the chosen, you're a kid, Adam and Eve's real kid, they're real seed. You try to stay united with your parents. Don't diss them. That's my advice. That's what I've seen. Because like I said, we see the center of the now, and they see the past and future. So we need each other. We're supposed to be united. We're not supposed to let Satan divide us, and shoot our weapons. I've had some avatars of Adam come at me recently, and he's making a huge mistake. He's going to regret it, And it's like child abuse in God's eyes. He's really messing up, And I have to be careful, too. I've dissed my parents and hurt my parents, and because I've been tricked into doing it by the beast. Like, actually, that's what happened with Leaving Babylon, who's actually like my grandparents, Adam's mom. But anyway, it's a whole nother story I'm going to talk in the next video about. But let's get back to this, okay? So basically, what I'm telling you is there are avatars of Adam, there are avatars of Eve all over the world, and their children, okay? And you know, in the truther community, in every, you know, preachers, you know, every music, everything. Okay, so sports. But what I'm telling you is Adam will tell you the future. If you listen to Call for Uprising, the stuff he gets right is this future. You know, he knows the future. He's music. He's the future. He's fire. Eve is ice. She knows the past. So you listen to Mag, his future stuff isn't right, but his past stuff is dead on. So you can tell the future and the past from them, and then you need to listen to somebody, one of their kids, to know what's happening right now. So, you know, they're like me. I'm not trying to advertise, but what I'm saying is the children know the now. The children are the now. They're half future, half past. That's the now. So that's how you really get a real clear picture of what's, you know, happened, what's going to happen, what's happening now. And so, yeah, and it's complicated. There are transhuman versions and real human versions. And I mean, Amazing Polly is Eve, but she's a transhuman version. So you have to be careful. You know, Dr. Day is Adam, but she's a transhuman version. You know, Mr. E is Adam, but he's a real human, so you can trust him, you know. So it's like, it's hard. It's not so cut and dried. And that's what the problem with the truth narrative is the devil has distilled it down into this warped lie that sounds real to people coming from the MSM, but it just isn't really the truth. And he's juking you a second time. He didn't punk you on the MSM, so now he's got to punk you in the Bible narrative or the truth narrative or whatever. Satan doesn't give up easy. He wants your soul. So let's get back to the video. And if you're wondering, like, what other versions of their children are, Dan Reiner is a version of their children. That's why he got everything that's happening now right. You know, so it's so hard to explain. All right, we'll make a video about it, hopefully, someday. All right, that's the end of part 1. And part 2, I'm going to post. I also have part 2 of my last video I still need to post. So that's coming up too. So please keep an open mind, please.